I said, you're 280, blah, blah, blah. You're a defensive tackle. You're supposed to beat me in a fight.
Yeah.
And, like, the locker room was, like, kind of went all crazy. Like, oh, Simms is using that reverse psychology. I was like, that's no reverse psychology. I really don't want to fight him. I mean, he's going to beat me up. That's right. If they're bigger, stronger, tougher than you, don't fight them. Find an excuse. And sometimes the excuse is you're bigger, tougher, and stronger than me, so I don't want to fight you.
This is not reverse psychology. It's just psychology.
It's the real facts of psychology. Yeah. Exactly right. We're back, baby. Here we go. It's been the longest damn break in the history of TV, but we're here. At least it was for me.
Yes.
Ahmed's been doing nonstop Olympics, but like I really appreciate you wearing the red pants today to start off the year.
I was like, how do I not wear the red pants?
I wore my blue button down.
You
I
did?
was like, I got to be
all the way to the top.
Right.
Your only other option was the black and the blue sweater.
Right.
That was
I
the
had
only
to wear
other
one of
option.
my calling cards.
Yes.
Right. So well done.
You're
you
back.
do have an energy drink there that's gross. We don't have to even name it or look at it. But
Healthier style energy drink.
it's still
though.
going healthy.
Yeah,
okay.
it doesn't have the super creatine like you pointed out last time.
Right.
Of my other drink,
Right.
which I've had multiple people come up to me afterwards and tell me that was unhealthy.
Yes.
So you're not on an island on that. I
Thank
will
you.
take your opinion as valid on the super creatine in an energy drink.
All right, wait.
now.
So, like, I let everybody know, like, the Olympic stuff, you were
Yep.
basically a vampire. You slept during the day. You were awake at night.
Yes.
How many of those things were we crushing during that?
Two. Multiple, sometimes three. So, yeah, my shift for Olympics, we were over on USA Network, and our crew would get in at midnight, and we were on the air at 2 a.m.,
Right.
and we'd get off the air at either 10, 10:30, sometimes 11:30 a.m. So it was an 8-hour shift on TV.
Right. So you were getting ready to go on air.
Mm-hmm.
I was just taking my last few puffs of my blunt.
Yeah.
You were getting off air. I was slowly making breakfast, enjoying coffee.
Yeah, you slept through my whole shift. You
Pretty
slept
much.
through my Olympics.
Pretty much.
No, really. Like at 2 a.m., you're in bed, right? You're sleeping by 2 a.m.
Yeah,
aren't you?
I am definitely.
So and you were up when? What
I'm
time
up
would you get
like
up?
on weeks. Like when we have we get more than a week off, and I
Yeah.
start to get into a groove. I never am in bed later than 9:15 or 9:20.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So I'm usually up around 8:30.
So
somewhere in
you
there.
could see the last hour to maybe
Right.
hour and a half of my shift. See, the good thing about our shift is we had live events the whole time because
Yeah.
that was basically the second half of the day in Tokyo. So we had gold medal events and all that. The bad thing is it was in the middle of the night, but it was cool. You know, to be part of the Olympics coverage is
Come
cool.
on.
It's
That's
a
as cool as it
grind.
gets.
It's a
Yeah.
grind, but it's cool to say that you hosted some of the Olympic stuff, and I'll do it again in 2 weeks for the Paralympics.
Right, it's a big deal. I mean,
Yes.
Olympics are a big deal. Not as a big deal as hosting Chris Simms Unbuttoned, though, and all the important topics we have today.
I know.
Oh, baby, we got stuff. I mean, we got so much stuff. Let's
Wait,
tell
hold
them.
on. Before we
Pete
get-
tried to, he was like,
Yeah.
wait, we'll break down all the quarterbacks, and then we'll do this. And you and I both looked at each other and like, okay, so 3-hour podcast? Like, what are you talking about? Let's save that one for Wednesday.
We can go 3 hours when we have nothing to talk about,
Right.
let alone if we've
Right.
jam-packed it, which I think may be our philosophy for when we do these type of shows. You know, once we get into the season, it's about the games and breaking down the games. You got to do that. It's a no-brainer. The show makes itself. But for these shows, maybe we script out half an hour, and knowing you, we'll go an hour and 15
know that,
every
right,
time.
exactly right.
So we'll make them light, and we'll be able to jump off to a lot of different jumping off points. So Wednesday, we'll be back Wednesday. We're going to do one of my favorite preseason segments. I'm glad Pete brought it back.
Yep.
It is, we always talk about, overreaction. Oh, you're overreacting to the preseason. But every once in a while, there are some underreactions to things that are happening out there. So
Right.
Wednesday, we're going to do the underreactions to some of the biggest storylines in the NFL. But today, we're totally dedicated to the wow-o-meter.
The wow-o-meter.
Yeah,
Are you
the
go
wow-o-meter.
wow-o-meter? And when you go wow-o-meter, because I want to go wow-a-meter. Wow-o-meter.
It sounds,
You're going to go wow with the O?
Wow-o-meter.
Wow-o-meter, okay.
Pete, what would you do? Would you go with the A or the
Whoa.
O? Would you go whatever makes you mispronounce it? Okay. So you can go A. I might go O, but who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go A every once in a while. The wow-o-meter, it flows better with A, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does.
Okay.
That's what I mean, right.
All right, I'll go A.
Okay.
So we're going to go the wow-o-meter
Yeah.
with rookie quarterbacks' preseason debuts.
Yeah.
You know, this podcast has been built on your evaluation of quarterbacks, you know, the top 40, the rookie quarterbacks, and so we really have put our flag in the ground on that. But here's the thing. The whole NFL world is going crazy on these quarterbacks right now. It's really the biggest story outside of, the veteran quarterbacks, but we're not going to see a lot of them.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers, we're not going to see. How much we're going to see Matt Stafford? None, probably.
No, none
for them. So it really is. I mean, this is one of the big stories. We're getting our first glimpse at these players. And some are impressing, some are not impressing so far.
Right. Well, that's what preseason's all about. To me, I don't care about like the X's and O's or, all of those type of stuff. It's just about evaluating some of these young players, whether it's first-year rookie guys or second-year guys, to see, hey, have they gotten better? Do they belong in the NFL? Do they look like we thought they looked like in the draft evaluation on the football field? I mean, to me, that's the most interesting thing there is about it right there. And, again, I'm not going to take like stats or the win-loss record or things like that. Some of these teams aren't even worried about wins and losses and things like this. I got watching the New England game the other night. There were some plays that should have been challenged. Bill Belichick didn't give a shit. He was like, no, I want to have 3rd and 6. I don't want to challenge it and get a first down. I'd like Mac Jones to deal with 3rd and 6 and pick up the blitz. So you're not necessarily always doing the right things you need to do to win the football game. Each team is at a different process to go, wait, we need to get this out of this game.
Right.
And that's where it can be tough to evaluate, too, at times. But either way, with these young quarterbacks and what they look like, hey, I don't think I'm going to be too low on any of the wow-meters. First off, the one thing I'll say about them all, and it's just like, it's a different day and age compared to when I was in the league or the days before me and all that. Like these young guys, they just seem not fazed at all by like the big lights, the attention, all of that. None of them blink or are deer in the headlights. And that's the first thing I'll say about all of them, where I'd give them a 10 on the wow-meter, all of them, just to go, their ability to handle the pressure, the situation, not look, flustered or anything like that. I was really impressed with them all straight across the board from that, standpoint.
Well, the first guy on our list we'll talk about
Let's do it.
was maybe the one that, caused the most ruckus throughout our whole draft analysis process.
Sure.
Was the Chicago Bears traded up to get Justin Fields. We saw him on the field. And to your point, I saw the post-game interview from Justin Fields. Man, he looked like he'd been in the league 10 years.
Right.
Like the way he carried himself, the way he answered the question on if he was nervous out there, and he goes, surprisingly, I wasn't. It was like, dang, that guy.
Yeah.
That guy's got some bravado
He does.
to him.
Right.
I can see why people liked him as a person.
Right. And, it's like the old adage, right? Like when you got talent, it's easy to be like, hey, I'm pretty good. It's easy to be relaxed and play. Matt Nagy made a comment after the game, too, just going, man, he played a lot. Nothing seemed to overwhelm him at all. And again, that's, I think, yes, part of the human being and how he handles it. And then the experience of playing in big games in Ohio State and all of that. So he's going, it's the NFL, but it's not Ohio State, Michigan, or Ohio State, Clemson here in preseason game 1. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And he did a lot of damn good things. There's no doubt about that. That's an interesting one to me, and I know we'll dive into it here, but he brings some things to the football field that is special as far as the quarterback position and can change the way the offense plays the game a little bit to where he does have some advantages he can bring over a guy like Andy Dalton.
Okay, so we're going to get into your evaluation of him.
Yeah.
We'll save your number wow-meter for the end.
Right.
It's
okay,
like
cool.
suspense. It's
I
kind of
that.
like suspense.
I like that because I haven't even come up with my I know generally where I'm going to go with the wow-meter. I'm going to kind of listen to myself talk a little bit and then go off of there, too.
We'll do that, too.
Right.
So it's one of those things, a little carrot out there for people like, okay, this is what Chris thinks. What's the wow-meter say?
Yeah.
And then people go, I didn't even know there was a thing as a wow-meter, but now I'm really interested to hear where Chris puts him on the wow-meter. All right, so we'll start with Justin Fields.
Yeah.
You mentioned some of the good things about him already. 14 of 20 we saw, 142 yards, no sacks, ran the ball 5 times, 33 yards, had a touchdown, did have 1 fumble in the game. But the one clear thing early on is they wanted to see what they had with Justin Fields, or at least give him experience because he played a ton in that first game.
A ton. And, hey, listen, he brings a lot of things to the table that I like. Again, I know he was my 6th-rated quarterback, and everybody thinks I hate him. I don't hate him. I don't. He has presence on the field. There's no doubt about that. He's one of those guys, as soon as he breaks the huddle, you just go, man, I don't know, that guy looks good. He's big, and he looks confident, and that's what a great quarterback has. There is something to that. It gets the rest of your team and everybody to believe in you when you have that type of confidence and bravado that you just mentioned.
Well, he said that, too, in the interview. He said, I told my offensive line, just take it one play at a time here.
Right.
Like, what?
Yeah, I know.
Well, these guys have probably been in the league more than you have.
Exactly
but
right.
He was the leader. He saw himself as the leader.
Yeah, and I heard that from everybody, really, throughout the process about how much they liked the guy, coming out in the draft and all those things. But here's the things that, jump out to me right off the bat, okay? First off, presence, all of that type of stuff. You talked about 0 sacks. That, to me, is a big thing I watch for this time of the year. He had a great feel, better than most of the quarterbacks that I saw, the rookie ones at least, of when to just playing the game naturally. Like, hey, I'm in the pocket. I went through the read, but I feel a little something. Let me get out of the pocket. Let me not just sit here because coach said sit here and it's training camp and I'm supposed to sit here and pat the ball and wait for the next guy. He played football. He played it realistically. That's what I really like first off, right off the bat. So you got presence, great pocket presence and feel there to just be a natural football player, not just Johnny quarterback all the time. Then what's the next thing? I mean, damn, when he breaks out of the pocket, you go, wait, is that the starting tailback or is that the quarterback? Because he looks as impressive as anybody carrying the ball at the running back position when he does tuck it and run it. And that's special too.
Yeah.
So he brings that element to them to make, okay, plays off schedule. And of course, this is where I think it could be interesting too, because I mean, Andy Dalton, yeah, he's played well and done all that, but we know who he is. Justin Fields is going to bring a true run game design element like a Taysom Hill to their offense too. And an offense that's been very bland, I just wonder where that goes, Yeah. He can bring a little creativity that maybe they have not had there.
Did he
loved all that.
Did he look more impressive running the football? Now, it's always hard to tell because you're not going against the...
That's the biggest thing.
It's hard, right? Because who are you going
starters,
against?
Right. He got to play against 2s and 3s where I never doubted he wouldn't physically be superior to that group. Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. Next game, we'll get a better gauge of how fast and how quick he is when we maybe get to see him against some starting defensive ends and linebackers. And now teams in training camp are getting to the point where, hey, we got to play this team. Hey, let's think about our scramble rules when a quarterback leaves the pocket or spying a guy.
Right.
So their teams will slowly start to, play a style to stop him a little bit too. And, yeah, we'll get a better feel. But I don't have any doubts about his athletic ability. I think that's pretty real, whether it's the first team, second team, or whatever.
Yes.
Right?
Safe to say that what you've seen of him in college and what you saw in that first preseason game, he should have no trouble being a top 5 running quarterback in the NFL.
No doubt. No doubt. I hands down. I mean, I would like to almost just go, he will surpass Josh Allen and clearly be the 3rd best running back quarterback in football this year, be just behind Lamar and Kyler Murray. Right, I think, because he's got the build like a Josh Allen, except he's faster and he's got some quicks to him too, and a spin move. We saw him, fumble on a spin move, but all that stuff I love, and that's to me where it's like kind of the $1 million question, where it's a little different than I know we'll get into San Francisco. Like Garoppolo's been to a Super Bowl. It's hard to just sit here and go, boom, you're the starter, Trey Lance. Andy Dalton, yeah, it's been playoff appearances, but we're talking about Chicago, who it hasn't been like wow on offense through the Matt Nagy era. There hasn't been great creativity, and that's to me where it's going to be fun to watch here as we go, because he's not. The bright lights aren't too big, and then he can bring an element to the offense that they haven't had that could surprise some people and all of that. Now, getting to the throwing the football stuff, hey, there's things I liked and didn't like about the throwing the football. First off, just the one thing I'll say is he throws a very nice catchable ball, throws a spiral. He doesn't overthrow it. He doesn't you're 6 yards away from me, I'm still going to throw it 105 miles per hour. He does show a variety of throws. Do I want to see if he can really drive the ball and throw lasers when he needs to into tight windows? That I'm not sure about yet, and I didn't see enough of that. And the other thing I would just say to where I need to see more, right, and is going to bring his wow-o-meter grade down from all the things I just said so positively, is there was really very few realistic NFL throws in his performance. Like when I say realistic, starting quarterback versus the starting defense, and you got to make a throw, into tight coverage or a tight window with people around you, we didn't see that. They game planned a little bit. The touchdown pass he threw was a play that teams usually don't even run in the preseason. They save it for the regular season. You could have hit that pass.
Maybe not, but
I think he could have.
How far do you think he threw that? He threw that still 40.
Probably 30 yards. But by the time he got out of the pocket and back there, and the other guy, but he was wide open.
Yeah, he was wide open.
So there was a lot of throws that I would just go, hey, they were nice, but I know that the second throw of the day is going to be the fade down the left sideline. Hey, nice touch on the ball.
Yeah.
But again, it was just a jump ball, and the guy made a great play to catch the football, right? And do those type of things. So that's still the piece I'd like to see a little bit more, is just legitimate, realistic starting quarterback versus the first team defense type throws. Not it's it's preseason and I ran a boot and here's a guy wide open. And it's preseason and my coach called a play action pass that the defense hasn't seen yet in preseason or in training camp, and we kind of game planned it up and screwed them over that way. That's the thing I need to see. And I think realistically, if I went on the wow-o-meter, then I'm probably going to give him like a 7.5, 7.5.
All right, that's pretty good. So let's set a baseline. So 5, let's say 5 is he performed exactly how you thought he would perform.
Okay,
right?
I like that.
So 5 is like, this is what I thought, this is what he did.
Right.
And so he exceeded your expectations a little bit.
Yeah, because you're right. No one's going to go below 5 for me in this exercise. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I just have a hard time. Again, they're rookies.
I know.
And it's
we
early.
We don't want to crap on
I don't want to
anyone.
crap on anybody or over-evaluate here.
We want these rookies to crap on your ranking of them, right? That's what we want.
Exactly.
We're pro-crapping, but not, us crapping on them.
No, them crapping on us is the way we'd rather have it. Yes, no doubt about it.
Okay.
But, yeah, I 7, 7.5. I'll go with the 7.5 for right
so he's
now.
a little bit better. You saw a few more things, probably more in the running game.
Yeah,
that gave you some hope that, wow, there's some things you can exploit
And
there.
even in the passing game, I still liked it just because it was at least the one thing I'll say, whether he missed the throw or not, and some of the misses I went, that's not a great throw or whatever, but it was the appropriate ball every time too.
Okay.
We'll get into some other guys here where I just go, that is not the appropriate ball, and we need to come up with another way to throw that.
What about the one play, though, and you pointed this out with Mike on the show, on where he did throw that jump ball, that fade to the left,
sideline,
and there was a running back that was perhaps running free open there, and I think we have some pictures to illustrate that.
Right. So
what about that play specifically?
Yeah, let's break this down. So there was a little bit of a movement on the pre-snap too here. So before we see this final picture here, the back originally was up top at receiver over by the sidelines, and they motioned him back in. Now, again, I'm not trying to be over-analytical here. I mean, Justin Fields, this is great. He did really good here. He wasn't wrong in his decision to throw the slot fade to the left side and do that. He wasn't wrong. Where I'm just saying is, my point of showing this is to go, here's part of learning the NFL and winning the play pre-snap. Right? That's another big thing of it. You can win the play pre-snap if you take the right clues and context clues and evaluate things the right way. And that's where Brady and Rodgers and them are so special, because they beat you before the plays even started. And then they just like, oh, well, yeah, you played a dumb defense and I exposed you. And it's easy to throw to a wide open guy for 20 yards, right? Yeah. They're great at that. So here with this play, not that he's wrong, but the back was up top. The other guy, the top receiver at the top, is a tight end as well. And the first clue you could take is there was 2 linebackers covering, the tight end and the running back, which had the corners down here, which tells you it's man-to-man.
So all the corners are on the left side.
All the corners are on the bottom part of this picture, and there was 2 linebackers versus the 2 pass catchers on the top, one being a tight end, one being a running. Linebackers don't cover wide receivers man-to-man. Mm-hmm. They don't do that. That's it. So if they're head up on a tight end, it's man-to-man. So that's the first thing. And with this play specifically, it's made for this coverage. And so the thing you want to do here, because the running back's going to run a little wheel route, like act like he's running to the flat, and then he's going to turn up the sideline. And you get a big play, especially if it's man-to-man. And if the linebacker who you see right here is at the 39-yard line, right on the hash, right? Yep. He's right across the field from the running back. He's got a man-to-man. This is where your context clues to go, wait, they're man-to-man. When I say set hut here, I'm going to see what that linebacker does covering my back. If he runs up, there's a chance he could get picked by my tight end. And that's what happened. And these are the things Fields and the young quarterbacks can all get better on. But see, here you go. Save it here. See, so you see the tailback. He's running out of the backfield. Yep. The linebacker that was covering him is trying to come underneath the tight end to cover him, right?
Yep.
So he's running downhill as the running back's running the other way.
Yeah.
So at some point here, he's going to have to go whoops and try to turn around and catch up.
Yeah, his heart rate is increasing right now.
Right now, yes. He's going,
crap.
oh, shit. This coach told me never to go underneath here, and I'm about to get burned for a touchdown. But Fields has already made up his decision to play down here. And again, it's not that it's wrong, but I'm just saying these are the type of things that he'll grow from, he'll learn from.
What does he see? Does he see just man-to-man, one-on-one coverage there?
Exactly
and
right.
I'll throw a jump ball, and I think he'll make a play.
I got man-to-man. I don't even have to worry about whether that linebacker takes the right angle or nothing. I'm just going to make it simple and play this guy against this guy and throw the appropriate. But you could see at the top of the screen there, the tailback's gone.
You're right.
It's gone.
And the other guy is, he's there.
He catches the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other guy's, it's not bad. You could see that he's not going to throw like a go ball and beat him like deep for a touchdown, but it still was not a bad throw. It was the appropriate decision. There was nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying next level to get him to be a starter or give Matt Nagy the confidence to go, hey, I'm seeing it all. Don't you worry, right? Those are the type of things where when I talk about leaving some plays on the field, leaving some yards on the field, right? Yeah, that was great. It was a 20-yard gain. Could have been 50. Might have been a touchdown. We don't know. And, again, it's just part of being a rookie. I'm not trying to be a jerk here or point anything out negatively. But, yeah, those are things, again, that rookies are going through. And to his defense, too, I said this on the show to Floria today. You could run that play so many times in practice that your defense has gotten used to it, and the linebacker never goes under.
Yeah.
So he might have had a few plays the last week where he had that play, and the tailback was never open. So he's just like, shit, it's not open. They've already learned it, and they're not going to mess it up.
I'm not going to waste my time.
But then he gets in there a third-string Miami guy who maybe the Dolphins haven't done it a lot in practice, and he gets over by it either way. Then those things happen in the preseason. But it's still like what I saw from Justin
7.5 on the wow meter.
7.5 on the wow
out of 10.
Yep.
All right. So the next quarterback, I think, was compared a lot to Justin Fields, and you've already brought his name up a couple times here, Trey Lance, because he can do a lot of the same things. That's the idea, right? He's a running quarterback, strong arm. His first game with the 49ers, played a lot, just like Justin Fields. 5 for 14, 128 yards, a touchdown. He did take 4 sacks, also had a fumble, had one huge play, 80-yard touchdown pass that's gotten 49er Nation, the faithful, excited.
He's the starter. We don't need Joe Montana or anybody. We got him.
But what'd you think of overall? What'd you think of Trey?
Still impressive. I mean, again, there was some really wow things. I mean, first off, like, hey, the athlete itself, just like Justin Fields, you see it right away. You just go, damn, here's a big, strong guy. Shit, he looks twitchy as hell. The way he moves, it's special. It's different than other quarterbacks. There's no doubt about it. The way the ball pops off of his hand, I mean, he's got a flamethrower. He could break a building, the side of a building, with how hard he can throw it. There is no doubt about that. I mean, his ability to just put pure mustard on the ball and drive it, it's up there with anybody in football. There's no doubt about it. Now, is it the most catchable ball in the world? No, it's not. It does not spin with great spirals, and he throws, what I would call it a little bit of a knuckle wobbler. And he had some drops in the game. He had one drop on the sideline out route, which should have been caught. Was a really nice throw. Perfect. His first throw of the game, people are blaming the receiver, and I'm going to go, no receiver on planet Earth was going to catch that ball. He was running at him full speed. The guy was 8 yards away from him, and he threw it as hard as he could. And so
you're a big guy of drops are not only on the wide receiver.
No, they're definitely not. Like Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers can throw it that hard too. They wouldn't have made that throw in that spot.
Yeah.
At some point you just got to go, wait, hold on, let me tighten it up and just flick it to you so you can catch it nice and easy. So the arm is real. I mean, that touchdown pass, come on. That was unbelievable. But just like Justin Fields' play, I'll say, that was a game plan play. It was a play that was drawn up by Shanahan to make sure his third pick of the draft looks good and we can get all the positive stuff talking about him, right?
How so? Like, why wouldn't that be a normal play you'd run in preseason?
Because it's just preseason, if you have a guy that's kind of proven and there, you just run your meat and potatoes. You just go, hey, I'm going to run my meat and potatoes plays, the things that are the base part of my offense, and let my guy execute that. And within that, he'll find a few plays. But you can't always trust a rookie to do that stuff.
Yeah.
So you have to manufacture some things for them at times. And yes, a fake run to the right, roll out to the left. The receiver from your right runs a crossing route, and then the receiver on your left runs a down the middle post all the way across the field type play. Like, I bet you we don't see another team run that play the whole preseason. That was a Shanahan special for sure. Phenomenal throw. I mean, phenomenal. No doubt about that.
Was that one of those where Kyle is like, we're going to run this play. This guy's going to be open. You throw it there. It's like there was very little thinking that Trey had to do.
I bet you Kyle said, listen, I want you to take the fake, get your head around, look at the backside safety. If the backside safety just came across the field at all, I want you to throw to whatever his name was, 81, and let it loose.
Yeah.
Right? If he doesn't, take off running or throw your check down. That's what he was probably told on that play, right? Well, the backside safety kind of went because he's like, wait, they're not going to roll this way and this guy go that way and then throw it all the way back over here. See, now that's what's exciting,
right?
Is you can run those type of plays. The arm strength is important,
yeah,
because you can do that kind of shit. That's amazing. So that was all good, but you brought up the 4 sacks.
Yes.
Not that they were all on him, but there's got to be, yes, he held the ball at times because I think he's a little bit like, wait, in practice this was open. In North Dakota State, the guy was open, or I just took off and I could beat these guys and I'll run them. He definitely held the ball too long. There was a time he got blitzed. He has the shallow crosser, just get it out of your hand, do those type of things. He's got to adjust to that. That was, to me, I think the most negative thing I saw was just his feel for the rush. And here's the other thing I'll say too. As wowing as some of those throws and things were, 5 for 14, there's a reason for that too. And again, it goes back into the uncatchable ball, throws the ball too hard every throw. Every throw is exactly the same. That's what bothers me about Trey Lance a little bit. I don't ever see a lofted softball, a touch ball over the linebacker that gets down in front of the safety. Or, like I said, here he is on the run. Just flick a nice little, change-up ball and hit the guy in the face mask. We don't have to throw it 1,000 miles per hour to where he can't even catch it, or it bounces off his face and gets intercepted. And that was the one thing I thought I saw that bothered me more than anything, is the lack of diversity of throws. Every throw is the same. It's fireball. And, that's where I'm going to certainly be watching from that standpoint.
It's funny. I was there when they had another quarterback that was very similar in that respect, and Colin Kaepernick was almost the same way. It was like unbelievable arm, unbelievable athletic ability.
Right.
One of the greatest running quarterbacks the game has ever seen. But he just didn't have that changeup. He didn't have that touch. He never, and he really never developed it.
Not to a great standpoint.
Right?
Yeah, got a little bit better at it, but you're right. It was still, he was a little bit of a, I'm not going to say he was a one-club thrower, because that's what I call Trey Lance. He's a one-club thrower. It's the driver every time.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit as hard as I can, 500 yards down the middle of the fairway. Right, every time. It's that. Like, Kaepernick at least had the driver and maybe a 9-iron or an 8-iron. Like, that might have been about it. But at least he had that. I got to see that from Trey Lance.
Okay.
So, again, it's special. There's things to see. Wow-a-meter.
Yeah, what's the number?
I'm going to give him...
5 is just what you expected, and that's not
no,
a bad
I'm going to give
thing.
him a 6.5.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to give him a 6.5.
So you did see some things that you liked.
Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, he belongs. There's presence again. Again, his athletic ability does jump off the screen. The strength of his arm jumps off the screen. Even though I'd like to see more refinement in the passing and polish and all those things, again, the positive is that play he threw the 80-yard touchdown, but they can't call that play with Jimmy Garoppolo. They can't. He can't throw that ball. There's no way. So that's, again, what a strong arm can do. Shanahan can draw plays up and go, well, shit, I can do this with this guy. That guy, nope, I have to do this. I can't quite do those exciting type of things. So I again, liked what I saw. I'm not trying to grade too critically.
Yeah.
But the pocket presence and lack of diversity in throws, I think, are my thing I'm going to continue to watch with Lance.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, Kyle, obviously, very well.
Is good too.
And we do have the pictures of.
Yeah.
This is the 80-yard touchdown.
So let's see. This is great. I haven't really watched the coach's film of this. I just watched the TV version, just like everybody else. But here, the guy at the bottom of the screen is safety. Here on the 32-yard line, right? I think it's Jordan Lucas, I believe, 24, who's covering here. It's a split safety look, right? It's too deep, right?
Yeah.
That's basically what they're playing. And let's see if this bottom safety cheats towards the top as he comes out. Oh, see, look. See, look where he is, 24 now.
Yep.
See him?
Yep.
So 24 has come all the way over to the hash. He was 10 yards outside the hash. Now he's over the hash trying to protect either a deep post down the middle or like a post corner route to the other side. And Shanahan knew this. See? So now Shanahan, this is the look where he goes, listen, if the guy comes over this way, you just wait for Sheffield to clear his guy, and you just throw a rifle out there, and he put that ball on the freaking money.
And then here is where he's just about to throw it.
Right.
Yeah.
See, so the safety screwed. Look, now the safety's like, oh, shit. He put on the brakes, and he's turning around like, oh.
He's like, I want to show I can turn my hips. I want to show I can turn my hips.
Right. Yeah, now let's see if you can run 4.3 and catch up to that guy. Oh, you can't. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sherfield's got you.
And you got to throw it. I mean, the guy's open. Good read. Kyle drew it up, but you got to throw it. And how far did he throw that? It's like 20, 10, I mean, like 40 yards.
35. Yeah, but it's across the field. It's like he threw a 45-yard laser is what he threw.
Yep.
With very little air underneath the ball. Special throw.
Yep.
And again, this is where it's interesting with the 49ers. They're a Super Bowl team. They have a Super Bowl roster, and they have a quarterback that brought them to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So they're going to be good to me no matter who plays quarterback unless they get hurt. But Shanahan's just got to be able to continue to evaluate and go, all right, is this guy maturing? Can I trust him, to not take sacks or fumble the ball as he's in the pocket and lose games for us that way? Because if he can, with Shanahan's run game and then his ability to run the ball, and then even though I have my questions about him dropping back and passing, it doesn't have to be overly complicated. It can be just roll out and throw the bomb here. Just roll out at the play action, and I'll have a 20-yard curl route down the middle and just throw it at him. And it doesn't have to be like overly complicated either, and I think that's what's going to be kind of interesting to watch. Both of these teams opened up the door to me to go, hey, we're up for a controversy. Anybody want to talk about our controversy?
Sure.
I mean, they opened it. To me, they showed that they're not going to hold back these rookie quarterbacks. They're going to push forward, and if they can take advantage, I think they're going to let them go and be the starter.
And the stakes a little bit higher, I would say, with the 49ers because that team is built to win a division, go far in the playoffs, perhaps get to a Super Bowl.
No doubt.
A lot of pressure on Trey Lance, a lot of pressure on Kyle Shanahan to make the right call there. But positive so far for Trey area.
Yeah, well, it's all positives to Bill. Yeah, he's got to fix some things, and I want to see more. There's no doubt about it. But still, hey, the big thing is all these guys just want to go out there and go, wait, did my rookie quarterback shit the bed? Did he look like he belonged? And does it look like he has talent to be something?
Did he make enough plays that the fan base is like, oh, okay, he's not a total bust yet?
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I think, listen, that's why I said I think all these guys showed that to a degree to where no fan base should be negative on their guy.
All right, what about the number one pick overall? Trevor Lawrence, who has been the number one pick for, I feel like it's been like 4 years now. Like, well, he's the number one pick. And it finally happened. Urban Meyer got his quarterback that he wanted, Trevor Lawrence, and so we got to see him in a game.
Yeah.
6 for 9, 71 yards. He took 2 sacks, not as many as Trey, but he took a couple, and he also had a fumble. So we didn't get to see a whole lot of Trevor, and I think Urban has said that he's not necessarily handed the starting job week 1. But what did you see of the number one pick?
Yeah, well, again, I mean, great look. I do love that.
No, you don't like his hair. You
I don't like his hair.
His hair you
his
don't
football
like.
uniform look. I do like that. I mean, his size is real in the pocket with how big and long he is standing there. He can throw over the top of the defensive line. He did that a few times, where he moved actually incorrectly in the pocket and moved himself into trouble, but still threw the ball good and appropriately, even though there was somebody in his face and he couldn't quite get his body into it all the way. I think, again, like Trey Lance, I think that was the first thing that jumped out to me is just, again, pocket awareness. Just whether you're spoiled by Clemson, in practice you haven't had to really scramble and run and do those things because you're not getting hit in the pocket, so you just always think, wait, I'll just pat it and throw to the next guy and do those. Yeah, his pocket awareness I did not think was great. Okay, but nonetheless has a few balls that I just went, man, that's what I expect for Trevor Lawrence. I mean, the third down, patient in the pocket, wait there, doesn't panic, hits the deep crosser with a nice touch pass down the middle. That was a phenomenal play and throw. The fact that he just didn't panic in that situation and just was still keeping his eyes down the field and doing that was special. There's no doubt about that. He had another third down out route to his left sideline. Or it might have been a second down that he threw on the money. Again, to me, those are NFL. That's where I go back to, like, where Justin Fields didn't show that. To me, this was like an true NFL throw. Whoa, in the pocket, tight coverage, man-to-man out route, boom, I hit it. Oh, in the pocket, nobody's open. Let me hop around and just make sure I don't get hit or anything like that. Crosser down the middle, bam. But, like, yeah, the pocket presence. He's too athletic to sit there like, just a statue. Get out, do something. Hopefully he can get better at that for preseason game number 2. And I'll go back to something you heard me say in the pre-draft process that he misses some throws where I go, you're just too freaking good to miss that throw.
So he only had 3 incomplete passes.
I know.
But one of the 3 was concerning to you?
Yeah. I think
All 3?
2 of the 3 I think were concerning. One of them was pass interference on the defense, and he threw an appropriate ball. But, yeah, just where I'm not worried about incompletions, but, these were 2 where I just go, the guy was open. Like, bam, that should be like, a walk in the park. You shouldn't even have to think about that. That should just be, boom, catch it, like, let's go. Hey, it's 2nd and 2, right? Whatever it is. So that's the only thing I'll say. Like, I don't know what it is. His motion looks very over the top to me right now, which I thought was a little different to me as well. But nonetheless, it's still a lot of positives, and it's a new team. He's got a lot of young players around him. Of course, learning Urban Meyer football and all of that. Mm-hmm. But still, presence, just like all the other guys. Wow-o-meter, I gave Trey a 6.5. I'm going to give Trevor Lawrence a 6.
Okay.
I'm not, to me, I expect more, a little bit more. Not that was bad, but, better pocket presence, like I said. Maybe a little bit better quality of throw altogether, but still a pretty damn good day.
And this is what's so hard, right? And you try to do this all the time. You try to parse the individual away from the team.
Right.
And so if you switch Trevor Lawrence and put him with Kyle this past week, and you switch Trey, because that's going to be the problem for Trevor, and that's going to be the hard thing, is he's going to be asked to do more with less.
Right.
He's the guy. He has to carry the team with Trey. You're like, you are the guy, but we got a lot of ways to help you. A lot of
other things. Exactly right. Exactly right. And he's got a coach who doesn't even know if his stuff can work in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's trying to figure out his way of how do I want to coach my team? How do I want my offense run? And all of those type of things. So, yeah, he's in a little different position than Trey Lance, where, like I said, like you said, I think we both, it doesn't really matter who starts at quarterback. I think we think they're going to be contenders in the NFC no matter what. Yeah, he's going to have a rougher road. There's no doubt about that. But still, love the look of the player. Nothing to be concerned about. Look like the number 1 pick of the draft. And his issues like pocket, moving out of the pocket, stepping up the right way, doing those type of things, those are fixable. They are. And he's played a lot of football and shown me he can already do that. Like him and Trey Lance had the same problem, right? I have way more confidence in Lawrence that he'll fix that rather than Trey Lance, because I saw Trey Lance have those issues in college too. Mm-hmm. I didn't seen Lawrence do that. Lawrence to me was more of like, I'm trying to do a new offense here. The coach is telling me these type of things and all of that. It's like a different, I think, approach a little bit than Trey Lance as far as that's concerned.
And even though Urban Meyer says that he hasn't committed totally to Trevor Lawrence being the starting quarterback, Jaguars.com, their longtime reporter there, John Ozer, says that there's no doubt about it. He's going to be the week 1 starter. So when your own website is reporting it, it's probably going to happen.
Yeah, well, I think they're, Florio brought up a good point. That like maybe they're doing this with Minshew to get the trade rumor or get true trade value for him.
Be like, don't tempt it. We'll start him. Don't make us do it.
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah. Well, I will say to your point though.
Yeah.
There is a fine line here, to where I thought about this weekend to go like, okay, how long are we going to act like he could be the starter? At some point, you're going to do a disservice to Trevor Lawrence and how the players look at him and believe in him.
Yeah.
If it's still week 3 of training camp and he hasn't beat out Minshew yet, he's the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
What's wrong with him?
Sure.
At some point, you have to frame that to your team to go, wait, now he's the guy, just like Zach Wilson with the Jets. Like, there's nobody there that's really threatening him. They just, here, you're the guy. Like, go. And that, to me, I know Minshew's played a little bit more than any other backup quarterback on the Jets and all those type of things, but I do think at some point you just got to go, wait, he's our guy, give him the vote of confidence, get the team behind him, and start to form the culture around that starting quarterback as well.
Yeah, because after a while he's going to wonder what Trevor Lawrence has to do. He's going to dye his hair brown, grow a mustache, show up in jean shorts.
It's going to be interesting.
You'll be like, what do I have to do? I have to do the whole conversion to Gardner.
You got to get
what do you like about him?
More jorts, yeah.
Do I need to buy more jorts?
More jorts will definitely sell them to the Jacksonville fan base. But, that's going to be interesting altogether. And, even just off topic a little bit, that Gardner Minshew trade conversation, That could be real. I mean, I think there's some teams out there that are a little bit concerned about their backup quarterback situation. I do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like...
And he'd be the perfect backup to bring.
Well, you look at a team like the Cowboys now, it's just like, man, 100%.
Right. There's one right off the bat. Cowboys, bam. You know, the Giants with Mike Glennon. I don't know how comfortable they feel about him or anything like that, but that's certainly one that jumps out to me. You know, the Colts with what they're doing right now. You know, Carson Wentz being hurt.
Yeah.
They have a team that's kind of edge of the Super Bowl window. Do you really want to go with a second-year Eason or Sam Ehlinger and all those type of things? And, you know, maybe we're going to hit on the Colts on Wednesday with that topic. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I do think there'll be a market for Minshew at the end of training camp.
All right, so a 6 on the wow-o-meter for Trevor Lawrence. Still above expectations, but the lowest you've given so far.
I know.
I do note that. Don't worry about it. Damn. Okay, but your number one quarterback.
I guess because he just didn't wow me as much.
Okay,
yeah,
that's all right, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Just one preseason game. He still has a chance to do that. So a lot of people, he was the consensus number 1 pick. Your number 1 quarterback in last draft was Zach Wilson, who delivered an identical to Trevor Lawrence 6 for 9.
Right.
Fewer yards, 63. No sacks, though. Did not take any sacks.
Right.
Didn't play as much. I don't know how much. He must not have played.
Yeah, he played 2 drives, basically. Just 2 drives.
So he threw quite a bit for 2 drives. That was good to see. So in the limited time that he was out there, what'd you think of Zach Wilson?
All right, so the first thing I'll say with Zach Wilson, first off, you know what I think about his throwing. And my throwing that game in the week 1 didn't change me. Zach Wilson's the best thrower in the draft. Period. He's the best number 1. He's the best first-round thrower of the football. Nobody's ball popped out of the hand the way Zach Wilson's ball popped out of his hand. Perfect spiral, quickness of the release, being able to flick it, whatever it is. Hands down, he's everything I thought he was going to be from that standpoint, and he's better than all the other guys throwing the football. I already know that. I just know it. I can see it. You know, of course, I don't know it, but I'll have to see more. But from the way it looks there, it's what I expected for sure. I'll also say this, you know, to me, he had the most legit NFL experience in the fact that actually him and Trevor, and I should have hit this on with Trevor too.
It's not too late.
All right, and maybe this is where I should have bumped up Trevor to a 6'5". Trevor had to start the game.
Oh, Pete says we're past it. You can't say it.
Too late. But there is value. Starting the game is harder than coming in the middle of the second quarter and playing against the 2s and 3s. Okay, there's a difference. Starting the game, and I know the Giants didn't have all their starters out there, or most of them, none of them were out there. But still, the emotions of starting the game, and it's the first time you've played another team, and they're going to play defenses that you're not prepared for, and things like that. That's a way harder experience than coming in halfway through the second quarter going, this is a third stringer. And this is a second stringer.
Yeah.
And
you've had time to calm down, I bet,
right.
too.
And
you just don't
got to
so
feel the
amped
emotion.
up.
Exactly right. You get to see the other guy play and go, oh, this isn't that hard. I can do that.
Yeah.
Right? All of that. So there is something to that. And then I also thought Wilson's game in itself was the most realistic NFL regular season type of thing. He made in the pocket throws, feeling the pocket, get the ball out of my hands before I get hit. I have a throw on 3rd and 14. He looked down the field. He tried to throw an aggressive check down about 8 or 9 yards, let the guy run to get the first down. He came up a yard short. They went for it on 4th. They didn't get it. But that was the appropriate play. You know, throws an out route to the left on 3rd down into really tight man-to-man coverage. Doesn't even take a hitch step, just stays on his back foot, throws a laser in there. You know, has another 3rd and long situation where he reads the right play, makes the right move in the pocket, and throws a laser down the middle of the field. And I know I'm a homer, and this is my guy that I like. But, man, I'm just telling anybody that's listening to me from Bleacher Report to hear, if he looked like shit, I would have told you he looked like shit. I think I've learned enough stripes now to be able to say that. And, yeah, to me, he was the most realistic, I thought most impressive-looking rookie quarterback. Yeah. Again, I'm not going to go, oh, wow, about Justin Fields throwing a wide-open guy that, you know, nobody's around. You know, and some of that stuff. That to me is just stat, highlight, preseason bullshit. You know, again, that's where I want to see what is going to be transferable and relatable to NFL regular season football. And that's where I think I like Zach Wilson. Of course, I like his look. I mean, yes, I know that. But Zach Wilson, He looked bigger in his uniform than I think I expected on TV. You know, everybody's, he's a small guy and all that.
Yeah, he's not. Like,
he's not. I saw him at training camp a few weeks ago. He's
Why
jacked.
do you think that is? Do you think that we think like someone who has that kind of hair and that good looks, they can't be that big of a person, right?
It is
That's a small. He has a smaller person face.
It's just a part of the haters of like people can't get off of it either. It was just one of those things that was used against him, and then he got hurt one year, so they could really use it.
Yeah.
Oh, he got hurt. See, he's small,
fragile.
Right. But I mean, you know, unbelievable. He's way bigger in person than you think, and I'll say he's 3 years older than he looks on TV in person too. Like, he doesn't look as baby face in person as he is on TV.
Yeah.
But
the camera takes away three to 4 years, sometimes they say.
But that's the thing I think that jumped out to me.
Okay.
You know,
is he going to have enough weapons, though, to showcase it?
Well, that'll be the big thing. I mean,
Corey
Davis, Elijah Moore, who's really he didn't play in the preseason, but has been really impressed the Jets team in training camp. You know,
Jamison Crowder,
Jamison Crowder is going to be good. Mims is coming along. Anything you read up here in the New York area, he's been better and better as they've gone along. You know, and then the other thing too, you can't forget with the Jets, and this is where, you know, just to talk about Jets football, Robert Saleh, he's trying to create something there. You know, he is. They ran the shit of the football in that game. It was almost to the point where you're like, come on, I didn't turn this game on to watch you guys run the ball. Throw the ball with Zach Wilson, please.
Yeah.
You know, it was like a little bit that frustrating, but he's trying to create a culture and, you know, a toughness to help his defense because he's a defensive head coach. He was with Shanahan. He wants to run the ball. He knows running the ball is important to protect his young quarterback in the first year and all those things, and the play action passes and all those things to go along with it. So, yeah, the Jets, I think, are headed in the right direction. But, yeah, I really liked what I saw from Zach Wilson. And like I said, I thought it was the most realistic rookie NFL-type performance. It wasn't like game planning or I'm going against way lesser competition and I can kind of screw you over that way.
All right, so what's his wow-o-meter number? You know, 5 being maybe just like the average quarterback, right? Because I already know.
Well,
like,
he's not going to go there.
If you go above expectations of him, like you already had high expectations of him, so maybe just the wow meter is against a.
I think it's almost like I just put it like right. Yeah, you're right. My expectations
is already high,
sky high. And you know, listen, you know, having been there at Jets training camp, and
what'd you learn from that?
Well, it's the real deal. I mean, I'll echo something Josh Johnson, their backup quarterback here, who's been on like 15 teams in the NFL. And he's seen just about every quarterback in football over the last, 12, 13 years. Mm-hmm. He's already made comments that Zach Wilson makes throws that I don't see people in the league make other than Rodgers and Mahomes. You know, there was a lot of that type of talk. You could see it in person. I mean, it's special that way. So we'll see where it goes, and we'll see if he can handle everything. But I think it's all started off on the right foot, and I think they certainly recognize the talent he brings.
You're hesitant to give a number, though.
Oh, I'm just going to give him a 7.5.
Okay.
Because it just wasn't – they didn't try to wow you with any game plan plays or that. They didn't draw up a post across the field or a tight end, everybody and come out the back door type. They weren't worried about that. They said, you're doing good enough. We're not worried about trying to manufacture a play. You can run the meat potatoes and look good.
Yeah.
And so for that, I'm going to give him a 7.6. Sorry.
Oh, so the highest grade so far, 7.6. I didn't even know that was allowed. I thought we were just going half.
It is. I'm the Russian judge.
Half a point. Okay. All right. 7.6 for him. I do think, though, it's a missed opportunity. They should, every preseason game from here on out, draw up a play that emulates the pro day play that he made. Like, well, you know what I mean? Like, give me one play that shows off his.
Yeah.
Because maybe next time.
They're going to save it. They're going to save it for the regular season.
Week 1.
Right. Because they already know what they got. So they're not worried about building confidence. There's been enough people up here, fans and everything, that have seen these practices that are already bought in. So they're not having to try to change the narrative or prove something about what their draft pick is. There's a little bit of a difference there. And this week, he gets to go practice against the Packers and Aaron Rodgers and see that a little bit. I think that'll be really positive for Zach Wilson.
All right, so Zach Wilson's the man in New York. He's going to be the man. Mac Jones is trying to be the man in New England. And if you read a lot of the reports out there, he's pretty close to being the man. People like him. There have been a lot of positive reports about
his
Mac
charisma
Jones.
And leadership and swagger,
which is
real.
funny because in interviews he kind of seems goofy. He seems like a goofy dude.
I know.
A little bit. But,
totally nerdy white guy.
but a leader of men, apparently.
Right.
At least so far.
He is.
13 of 19, 87 yards, so pretty low. He did take 1 sack. So you don't like to see the 19 passes and just 87 yards. That's kind of a bummer. But it was precise, not many incompletions. What'd you think of Mac Jones?
I mean, it's. I think the thing that the first thing I would say is there's just a calm and cool and confidence about the guy. As soon as he ran on the field, you were just like, they're going to move the ball down the field.
He's got it.
He's got it. Right. I mean, of course, I've read and heard things and know people and all that. Of course, have little inklings about that. But I think he gives off that aura anyways to a degree. And he's like it's just so rare to see a rookie have like a 4th or 5th year type presence about him. I think that's what the first thing that jumps out to me about him. And then the second thing I would say is like, man, all right, his physical skills are not as wowing as any of the guys we just talked about. None of them. I wish he would have looked a hair twitchier and the ball would have exploded out of his hand a little bit more aggressively.
His margin for error is very slight.
It is very
small.
slight. And I think he can get him better at those type of things. Like when he stops thinking, he'll get back into like being a little bit more of what we saw at Alabama as far as the quickness and the twitchiness. He's thinking too. And of course that, like I've always told you, it's the hardest offensive system in football. But I think the thing that's most impressive is just like, is every throw on the money? Is every throw on the money? I mean, it's almost every single one. It might not wow you. You might not go, whoa, but every throw is a perfect spiral right underneath the guy's chin. Oh, here's a play action pass between 2 linebackers and their safety bearing down. Boom. Puts it perfect to where the guy can, cover up. Shallow crosser on 3rd and 3. Yeah, whoop-de-do, I know. But he throws the ball a foot in front of the guy, the receiver, so he can keep running full speed. And now he is able to run around the linebacker and get the first down. And then, 13 for 17 with a catch that should have been challenged by Belichick, a go route down the left sidelines that was a perfectly thrown touchdown pass, and for some reason the receiver fell out of bounds. I don't know. If he just runs straight, he's going to catch a touchdown. So I think that's what I liked, let alone, again, what I think I'll go back to with him is they played it a legit NFL way. It wasn't New England never game plans. They're never. They're going to go, no, this is what we're going to do. This is what we've been working on. Have you aced this test yet before we can move on to the next stuff? And I think from that standpoint, it was all positive. He does all the quarterbacky things right.
Yeah.
Yes. Would I like to see a little bit more maybe backyard like Justin Fields, get out of the pocket, do something else? Yeah, sure. I don't think that's going to be his game, necessarily. But I still think I liked what I saw in a lot of ways just because he's such a quarterback, aficionado.
Yep. I mean, there are a lot of people that thought they saw his decision-making and the way he was able to deliver in the right spot, the right time, and they were like, I would take him as the top quarterback. There were people that said that in the NFL.
There's a lot of people that I know. Listen, there's a lot of people that say that.
So you've got, you were working with New England there for a while. You got little birdies in there. You were relatively high on Jarrett Stidham, rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
How do you think he compares in that building to Jarrett Stidham?
It's who? It's Cam Newton or Mac Jones. Period. They have taken over the team, and I think Mac has a way stronger presence than I think like Belichick and Josh McDaniels knew about his presence, but I think the whole team is a little bit like, damn, this guy's a little bit like Cam. He's just a man. Everybody thinks he's the man.
Well, that was Cam's big selling point, right?
Right. And you hear Cam's waxing poetically about Mac Jones and this stuff. That he's cool and he's in the locker room saying lyrics to rap songs and funny jokes.
He sounds like a guy
that
you root for, right? And it was the case in Alabama, right? People, his teammates, people that got to know him, they rooted for him.
Right, no doubt. And I just think, and then Cam sees him doing all the little things. He works hard. You
think he really beats out Cam week 1?
No, I don't. I think Mac Jones will make it very close. I think they'll feel very comfortable to go, man, if we got to play him this year, we'll be okay. But I think, one, they're always a little reluctant to play young guys. 2, what I come back to, I think, with more than New England than anything is I just have I think Bill and Josh are going to maximize what this team is about. And to me, still, this team is not ready to go, oh, let's spread it out and throw Mac Jones and go back to Tom Brady football, right?
Yeah.
They're not there yet. I still think they're more of like last year's team where it's like, no, let's smash people with the run game. We got 2 tight ends. Yeah, we're a little bit better at receiver. Now we can give Cam a fighting chance. And then with his ability to run the ball, we can make our run game even that much more dangerous.
Isn't that a potential problem for them, right? Because it's like you go from one style of play with Cam to where if you do have to go to Mac, that's a completely different style of play.
They can do it because at least like Cam's running all the Tom Brady plays and doing all that stuff in practice just like Mac Jones.
Yeah.
It's just when they get in the game, they go, yeah, but we like this formula of calling plays with Cam. Like third down, he's still going to run the Mac Jones, Tom Brady plays.
Yeah.
But on first and second, they're going to package it differently than Mac Jones. I mean, you know, hey, listen, it speaks volumes to me. Like Mac Jones came in the game and they were like, empty formation, let him figure out who to protect, and he'll figure out where to throw the football. So that tells you right away. I mean, they are already confident in his abilities to do that. But you know, New England never strays too far from, even though Cam's offense is different, it's still the pass plays. Mac, if he was in, he would still run a lot of Cam Newton pass plays and all that. They're just going to miss some of the, play action, quarterback design, run stuff and all that. And if Mac came in, they'd probably get in a little more empty shotgun and let him do that type of stuff too.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. What's
Does
your
that
number?
answer that question?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, totally. What's your number? Coming off a 7.6, very controversial.
Yep, I gave Zach the lead. I'm gonna go Mac Jones. I'm gonna give him a 7.55. Is right. I am.
Wow. 7.55.
To me,
this is
again.
Now we're going to hundreds of them.
I'm not worried about his stats were this and this highlight plays for preseason football. I'm judging it more on, will this work in regular season football? Is this realistic? All those type of things, and that's where I think I give the edge to Wilson and Mac Jones that way.
Okay,
for what they did.
Here was a tweet just 4 minutes ago from Mike Giardi, I think is how you say his name, Mike, out there in New England. Main takeaway from a Patriots perspective: Cam Newton was riding the struggle bus all practice long. Ball not coming out quickly and issues with accuracy. Showed up in red zone work with a ball behind Asiasi, followed by an interception the next play from linebacker Eric Wilson. Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
He's got it's his biggest thing is getting off wide receivers. Can he get off the guy and go to the next read and do those type of things? You know, like the sack the other night when he got hit by Chase Young, that wasn't Cam Newton's fault. I mean, that was a phenomenal pass rush move and all of that. But there's been too many plays even last year like that with Cam Newton. I'm saying where the protection's good and he's still looking down the field and gets hit like that and has no awareness of what's around him and things like that and all that. So, hey, it'd be interesting. Mac is going to continue to get better and push him.
He's going to play. I mean, clearly Mac Jones is going to play at some point this year. Yes?
I'm not going to totally say that. I'm not. But if Cam falters, he will. Like, Cam's going to have to be playing A-type football to keep his job. That's what I'll say. I think they're going to look at it like I said. We can maximize how great our team is if we have Cam in. But if it doesn't work, okay, or we might lose some of the running stuff. We're still going to be able to pull a guard and smash traditional and do that. You know, no read option quarterback design runs. They'll infuse, instead of that, they'll take that away, and that's where you'll see some of the more empty shotgun Brady-type offense infused into it. But I really think it'll be Cam week 1 unless we hear more and more tweets like you just said right there where it's like, what the hell is he doing today?
All right, so a couple more quarterbacks to get to here. Another one, you were higher on Mac Jones than most. You were also higher on Kellen Mond than most. You were probably, relatively speaking, you were one of the highest on Kellen Mond in the
probably the whole
community.
country.
The whole country, right?
No doubt about it.
Even like Kellen Mond was like, hey, Chris, pump the brakes. I don't know if I'm that good. His first game, which I'll admit I didn't see, but I'm looking at the numbers here. 6 of 16, 53 yards. Did have 5 runs for 25 yards, so showed that part of his game. What did you see of Kellen Mond?
Well, he's the toughest to eval here for this. I mean, first off, he missed the first 10 days of training camp, right? I mean, he's only in like his first few days of practice here, and he was in a game.
He's behind. He's already behind.
He's behind. So it wasn't overly impressive. He didn't have a fighting chance a lot of the time. What I will say is he could still throw the ball into really tight windows and make throws within the pocket. Out of the 6 completions, 1 or 2 were real high level, like, again, what I would say NFL realistic starting quarterback type throws. He had a throw on 4th and 2 on the goal line in the end zone. He moves to the right. He threw an unbelievable pass into the back of the end zone. The guy caught it. 2 feet hit the ground. Somebody hit him. The ball popped out. Incomplete pass. Again, no, that was an amazing play by Kellen Mond. I don't give a shit what the stats say or whatever. Should have been caught. Great play. Off schedule, all those type of things. So he's a tougher one just because they were getting their ass whooped. He hasn't played a lot. There was a few plays where, again, it was incompletions, or I want to just go, but he's just trying to get the ball out of his hand and not get sacked. Like, there's nobody open. Where do you want him to throw the football? But, yeah, it wasn't exactly like what I would want it to be or anything like that yet. But I see it. I see, again, I'm not going to back off of Kellen Mond. I'm not. He's too pure of a thrower and too comfortable within the pocket for me to back off on it. But as far as the performance the other day, it's not up to par with some of these other guys. It's not. I'd probably just give him like a 6.0 on the wow-o-meter. But let's see what he has. Let's see what he looks like this week. When he has a little bit more of an understanding of the offense, more reps in practice, and those type of things. But I would challenge anybody, go back and watch a little bit. Yeah, I know there's a few plays here and there. You go, but I don't think there was anything there to be had. And a few of those completions, like I said, they were Mac Jones and Zach Wilson-ish and even Trevor Lawrence-ish, where I would go, man, that's NFL throwing in the pocket type stuff right there. Yeah.
I would say that he is the least likely to see the field out of all these quarterbacks that we're talking about, but our last one takes the cake there. Jordan Love.
Yeah.
A lot has been made of Jordan Love over the last 12 months, 18 months. Not bad, though, when he was out on the field. 12 of 17, 122 yards, a touchdown, did have a sack, did have a fumble lost. And he is hurt right now. I think he's got a bit of a what? Shoulder? Is it shoulder injury?
Yeah, shoulder.
So that's unfortunate.
Stinks. I mean, it's a guy that needs reps, and here it sounds like he's going to miss a few days of practice.
So what did those reps look like to you in the game?
The reps, I think, are encouraging. There's no doubt about it. Like, hey, the thing I was worried about with Jordan Love more than anything is, you've heard me say a lot of times, his rawness. He could throw 2 or 3 balls where you go, damn, that's as good as I've seen ever in my life. And then he could throw a few balls where you go, that's below NFL average. I don't know what the hell to say. What kind of throw is that? The first thing I think that popped out to me is at least he had consistent control of the football. Was it perfect? No. Would I wish there was a few completions put in a different spot to maybe let the guy run after the catch or do some of those things? Okay, yeah. But still, they were complete. The ball came out of his hand pretty clean, which always is a little bit of a telltale sign to go, oh, he controls the football the right way. Had the post route down the middle to Sternberger where put a little juice on it. I do think with Jordan Love, there's 2 things. One, the pocket presence was pitiful, like we kind of hit on a little bit. It was pitiful. He's got to learn to step up in the pocket at the appropriate times. Hey, the last strip sack fumble you saw, I want to watch the coaches some because he's about to let it loose deep down the field. But you can't just drop back on a 5-step drop and then just stand there. You got to hit 5 steps and push up in the pocket to find that little sweet spot to where the tackles can push the defensive ends by, and yet you could still step into a throw and not hit your guard or the defensive tackle who's being blocked in front of you. So there was no awareness of that. Yeah. I think that bothered me a little bit. But overall, I think it was a positive thing they can build on for a guy who didn't do anything last year and all of that. I wish he would, like Fields, his arm is too floppy for me at times. And I don't know if he always trusts where the ball's going to go. He kind of just took a smooth, let me be smooth, and, that type of approach each throw so I know where the ball's going. It's something that me and my dad have talked about a little bit. I want to see, oh, it's in the pocket, it's tight. Man, that's a tight window. You got to let it go. Can you trust where it's going to go when you really let it go? I don't know about that yet. That's what I'd like to see a little bit more of. But I still think overall, again, looked the part. And I think it's something positive they can build on ultimately with what he did.
Well, and Pete points out, it's like the other quarterbacks we talked about are all rookie quarterbacks. Jordan Love in his second year, but he's basically a rookie because we saw so little of him. And that was the point you made at the end of last year, is that it's a big deal that he did not dress.
Says it all.
It's a huge deal.
Right.
Right? I mean, that's uncommon for a guy you traded up for, got in the first round.
It's not really heard of for a first-round quarterback to not dress.
Okay. So given that, the fact that he went 12 of 17, 122 yards, showed some of the things, is that a real positive sign now after, more of a positive sign than maybe some of these rookie quarterbacks who are coming in?
I think so. Yeah. I think it's one of those things. First off, he's like in the toughest spot in all of NFL football.
Yes.
I'm rooting for him just because, man, is he in some tough situation.
Yeah.
But, I think that's the type of performance where he can get a little confidence. Players around him can go, okay, I see you, Jordan Love, out there. Mm-hmm. And then even though it was basic plays and things, LaFleur and company can go, okay, again, we can put a little more on his plate. Here's a few other plays we can trust him to, do and things like that. The one thing I'll say is they didn't look like they game planned any plays for him like they Trey Lance or Justin Fields.
Yeah.
They just did meat and potatoes offense and things like that. But, yeah, he just, he needs the reps. It's big. And yes, the point that you brought up, the fact that he didn't play last year, it's shining bright lights. The fact that he didn't play, it's unbelievable. I mean, again, Florio brought this up earlier today. I've reported. I mean, from everything I know, the Packers told Aaron Rodgers they were going to trade him this offseason. What I've heard through the grapevine, and Florio said it today on the show, and I think what he's heard too, is like they told him they would trade him. And then I think Matt LaFleur found out that was being said and was like, what? Who's playing quarterback? We don't have anybody that's even close to ready yet. And I think that's where that whole thing got dysfunctional a little this offseason too. So we'll see where it goes. He's going to get great experience. I just hope he's healthy enough to play this next game and get those reps. Wow-o-meter.
Yep. Let's just go a whole number here. We're starting to parse.
I'm going to give him a 7.
Wow, 7.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
so up there.
Yeah, I was expecting low. I wasn't know what to expect.
You thought 5. If he can give me a 5, that may be a win for him.
Exactly. I didn't know what to expect. He hasn't played. There's more pressure on him maybe than maybe anybody here.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, he didn't fold and did some positive things. So I like that. Threw a touchdown pass. I know it was a screen pass and all of that, but showed a little diversity in the throws too that I didn't see from like a Trey Lance or something like that.
Sure.
He can flick it and throw a screen or here, do this. So that's good.
A year of watching Aaron Rodgers probably doesn't hurt.
No doubt about it. I feel like he's trying to emulate Rodgers in a lot of the things. I just want to go keep your arm tighter like Rodgers. Mm-hmm. Don't let it flop behind you all the time, and that'll fix a lot of the problems.
Floppy arms. It's one of the the problems. Floppy
arms. You don't want to have floppy arms.
Bad floppy arms.
That's the wow meter. I mean, I really had a hard time with the Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. Those 4, I think, were the toughest for me because Mac played it such a professional way. But, yeah, I know it was against backups and all of that. Justin Fields made some wow plays. And I don't know if they're NFL regular season realistic, but they were still wow, and they were against second and thirds. Trevor had some moments of whatever, but he had to start the game, and then he did have those NFL throws. And to me, Zach had still the cleanest performance. He's the only one I feel confident about my ranking, actually, because Mac, Trevor, and Justin Fields, I thought were all very close.
Of all those quarterbacks, if you had a team and you had to say you can pick one of these quarterbacks to start week 1, you would pick Zach Wilson.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I think he'd be the one. Yeah, I would just feel like could be the guy that I could be the closest thing to run my offense and maybe then some, like draw up a cool play and be like, hey, this is our meat and potatoes, but we're going to them because they think this is the meat and potatoes, and we're going to put a little hot sauce on it. This is going to be a double move, and bam, you'll throw a 70-yard touchdown.
We're going to bring out pro day, Zach, and we're going to do that throw, and you're not going to know what hit you.
Exactly.
All right, so what would be over the next couple weeks here, some of these red flags? Like if the things you've pointed out about these quarterbacks are still showing up in preseason game 2, preseason game 3, if they play, Are you worried yet, or are these things that they're going to have to deal with their whole rookie season?
Yeah,
basically?
I think it's not going to get fixed at this point.
Yeah.
Just like to see a little improvements. Yeah, it's going to, it's not going to be perfect if they do play in the regular season or those type of things. But you just want to see, mindfulness of it. I'm trying to correct it.
What are you looking at more, you think, if you're a coach? Are you looking for the wow plays, like, wow, that's awesome? Like Trey Lance, like, give me a wow, or limit the mistakes?
No. I think it's a little different for everybody.
Yes.
I think Lance is like, they're probably like, it just from the outside looking in. I have no inside information.
Yes.
But for Lance, I would think it would be the opposite. They know they can get some wow plays from him. Like, wow can be a weekly thing.
Yeah.
But we just want to make sure we get consistency and he knows what to do with the ball and doesn't take a stupid sack or, doesn't get strip sack fumbled or throw a stupid interception because he throws the inappropriate ball or things like that. So for him, I think that's the more important thing.
Where Mac,
maybe they might every now and then go, I wish there was a little more wow there.
Yeah.
Like, I know he can do everything and make every right check and all that. Hey, Mac, don't be afraid to throw this ball in the tight window. Hey, Mac, don't be afraid to, drift to your right and uncork the deep post down the middle and those type of things.
Yeah.
So it's a little different for everybody because everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, and it's on the coach to figure those out and formulate around it.
And Florio said that Mac Jones looks better in his uniform for the New England Patriots. he was kind of crushing on him a little bit.
I know,
did you notice that?
Yeah, he did. It was. Thank God he's at a 50. Holy crap! It was good to see him in 10 and look like a quarterback and all of that.
Yeah.
So it's a great group. It really is.
I mean, this is one of those quarterback classes where it is really cool.
It is.
Like we've had classes before where it's been Kyler Murray, and that's basically it.
I don't have any that I look at in this class, like the ones we just talked about, to go, no way it'll work.
Yeah.
Anybody can listen to me through the past, and I've made those type of comments. So I'm not afraid to do it.
Yeah.
Like when Blake Bortles got picked, I went, there's no way that'll ever work.
Yeah.
When Johnny Manziel got picked later in that draft, I was like, I got to see it to believe it.
You
it won't
see
work.
a path to being a good
I
quarterback
see the path
for all
with
these
all
guys.
These. That's why I said during the draft process, it was the hardest year ever to rank.
Yeah.
Because none of them did I just go, no chance. Doesn't work.
Justin Fields may be the best number 6 ranked quarterback by Chris Simms ever.
No doubt. Yes. Yeah. That's what was scary about this past draft for me.
Right.
And I know, my ass will be on the line and everybody's going to be evaluating
Well,
me off of that.
the podcast is, it hangs in the balance of how these quarterbacks perform.
Seriously.
If Justin Fields goes out there and is better than Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, we'll have to stop. We will have to stop.
We will. You're
no, that's
fired.
not true. That's not true. That's not true because you, as always, are willing to evaluate it and reevaluate
I am.
it and look at it again and see what's changed and what
I was wrong about, whatever.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. To me, it's part of the process. You got to do that if you want to be a good evaluator. If you're going to hang on to something and try to always make an excuse for it, you'll never grow from your mistakes or learn how to evaluate the proper way.
It was like we never stopped. This is like riding a bike, right?
It really was, yeah. I mean, I know. We haven't talked in a month at least,
haven't talked
right?
in a month. I mean, I haven't been awake when you've been awake.
Yeah.
That's been the biggest problem
But
there.
we were awake together today, baby. And we got a good one. We got lots of action.
Yeah.
We got so much stuff we can even talk about. On Wednesday we got a hit on. Hey, one thing I brought up just on the way out, like Jamal Adams, the Seattle Seahawks thing. I talked about this with Mike on PFT today. It sounds like he's trying to blow the safety market out of the water. Now I just read, it looks like he's challenging he wants linebacker money.
He wants to be ruled as whatever has the highest salary structure.
I know. I said that to Florida today. I said, I bet you he's asking for Fred Warner, Darius Leonard money, and that's the problem.
And honestly, why wouldn't he? Because he plays in some similar situations
box almost all the time.
So why wouldn't he?
It's a valid argument. There's no doubt about that. You're right about that.
And honestly, why should you be restricted to your position anyway? Right? I mean, it's your impact on the defense. Is there anyone more impactful than him?
Yeah. How about my franchise number should be I'm one of the 5 best defensive players in football?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And without me, this defense is terrible.
I agree.
So it's like that should be my leverage.
Yep. All right, we got a lot of awesome stuff to hit on Wednesday. We really do. We're going to hit on some stuff, some players that we think are flying under the radar in the NFL, right?
Stories that we're underreacting to.
Right.
It's all about overreaction, but no, there's some that we should be reacting more to.
Yeah, agreed. There's a lot, too. So we'll hit on that. Everybody be good out there. Ahmed, you the man.
We did it.
Peace out. You don't have to wear your red pants again on Wednesday. I'll let you go. All right, everybody, be good. See you Wednesday. Peace. See ya.
No, clap it up. You almost forgot.
Who are you? Yo, what's up? Come on, man. Subscribe on YouTube to Chris Simms Unbuttoned podcast. I need you. Please hit the subscribe button, please.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.